How are you? Thanks for coming on the show, Bridget. It's great to meet you. How have you been? How's your 2023 been so far?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been great, man. I really can't complain. I'm originally from Miami, so I was back home with my family, which was awesome. I love my family time. And then I got back and it's just been go, go, go ever since. So it's been nice.
Do you actually get to unwind and relax with the family, or are you a bit like me where you're still in the back of your mind, you're thinking about work, you can't really escape it? Or are you able to
Yeah.
do a hard reset?
I really try. I really try to just kind of cook and bake and during Christmas watch movies and then we do a lot of karaoke in my family, so we just karaoke for hours.
What's the go-to song?
I mean, I feel like, I speak Spanish, so I do a lot of Mexican mariachi songs, which nobody would know. And I oh and all oldies, anything oldies I love.
Yeah.
So something stupid, I love singing that one. Frank Sinatra, Nancy Sinatra together.
Wow,
Eric
that's
and
that's not an easy song.
I know, but I really like it. So we do that one a lot, my husband and I, and in Mexican families, everyone sings. Everyone's like you come out of the mother's womb singing. So it's true, everyone sings. So we
Yeah,
do a lot of
because you grew up doing singing and musical theater and things of that nature. So this is your chance to sort of show off a little bit, hey?
yeah, in my family party.
Uh,
Yeah, it's great.
no. So talk to me about Dead Space. I mean, I know you've done a couple of games and animation and stuff like that, but this is your first, lead sort of role in a game, is it? Doing performance capture and all
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it's something I've been wanting for a really long time. Ever since I got to LA and I learned about that world, I was immediately drawn to it. And I thought, wow, for me, it's the best of all the worlds because it brings in imagination, which I think is hard. It's the hardest thing for actors because when you're on set, you're really given a lot. It's a real gift to be on set because let me move this out here. Wow. It's actually where I'm sitting. What's
I,
happening here?
I love your house, by the way. I love the
Oh,
the design. My
thank you.
my girlfriend would she's an interior designer. She would give you the thumbs up, I think.
Thank you so
Looking
much, man.
good.
Yeah, we've tried. We made that lamp. My husband and I. We designed it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we get
Nice.
creative. We've just added. You throw wood in a bunch of areas, and I think you're
Yeah,
good.
exactly. That's the
um,
hack. Sorry, what were you
yeah.
saying?
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So when you're on set, you're really given a lot of gifts because they try to make it as real for you as possible, and they put you in the environment, and they have all the people around you. But when you're on a motion capture project, I don't know if you've seen. I'm sure you have actually. It's
Yeah.
just a room, a plain room, and then you have all the dots all over you, and then you have to get to your mark. You have to hit your marks because it's actually even more important because of the setups and where the props are going to be. So when you're like looking at a through a computer and you're sliding and everything that you're doing, you you have to really see it so they can grab it, if that makes any sense.
Mm.
So it can feel real for the player. But you don't have anything. You really have nothing there. Sometimes it'll be, they'll give you it like foam. They'll put foam or they'll put like a board, but nothing that you actually hit. So if I'm hitting Control Alt 11452, that's all me in my head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Making
Yeah.
up so everyone can really feel like they're actually seeing someone press buttons and move through a system. So for me, it's really challenging, and I think I like challenges, so I really love it. Um, and I just think it's like, okay, let's go, let's all put our imaginations together and tell the same story somehow.
How do you stay grounded in the character while also thinking of all this technical stuff in the back of your head as well? Is that the
Uh,
biggest challenge of it all?
I would say probably, yeah, because you have to hit the marks and you have to have the vision of what they created, what, the designers created in their minds, and they give you, they're great at explaining it and saying, this is what we see. And many times they have a reference. So you'll see like a figure that they sketched out, and you'll see how that figure hits that mark, and what
Yep.
their idea is, but it's raw. So it's a rough,
Yep.
um, but I would say probably that's, and then when it's like, when it was Hammond and I, and we're both there looking at a screen, and then I have to check my boards, and he's there with me, and it's like, don't move too much, because you'll get into Hammond's world, and then they can't edit that. The graphic designers can't edit that, or if I stepped over too much, all of a sudden my leg's gone. So, so little things like that.
Yeah. So you were familiar with the gaming world? Like, have you ever picked up a controller and played anything, or
I have. I
you have?
have. I used to play. Don't laugh at me. This is probably
No,
so outdated. I
no.
love Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, what a classic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great game.
I used to
Yeah.
love that game. I grew up in a building, and it was just a bunch of friends together, and we would all hang out. And there was one kid, Joshua. His parents let him have a PlayStation, so we would all go over and we'd play Crash Bandicoot. We'd play Donkey
Nice.
Kong.
Yeah.
We'd play the Mario Brothers, the carts and everything. But that's the only experience. My mom wouldn't let me because I liked it, and I think she was worried that I would not stop playing if she got me one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So are you gonna pick up a copy of Dead Space and maybe give it a crack, or what? What are you
I
thinking?
have one already.
You do? Nice.
Yes,
Okay.
I have one, and
Okay.
my brother-in-law downloaded it. So as soon as I get back home to Miami, I mean, I live in LA, but home is always
Yeah.
Miami.
Miami, yeah.
We're gonna play because he's a gamer, so I'm excited for that.
Nice. Is it
Yeah.
weird? Is it weird seeing yourself in a game? I guess you have seen some of the cutscenes and stuff. Is it weird seeing your likeness in a moving model in a game? Or is it
Uh,
just
I
normal?
don't know. Yeah, I was like, wow, my hairline's a little different there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a one-to-one, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I at first it was kind of jarring, like, wow, that's different. But then I got into it, and I was like, oh, it's cool. They made me a little bit more. I feel like I look a little more rigid than I usually am. I'm a little lighter. I feel like my I'm a little more fluid. My how I am actually, but for the character, I had to be a little bit, with my
stiff.
body stiffer, yeah, and kind of stand a little straighter, and but I didn't want to have that. I didn't want it to be the character, that kind of two-dimensional aspect of it, where it's just, I'm just focused on this. I wanted her to feel real, and I wanted Kendra to be a person that was really like, she really felt like she was doing the right thing, at the cost of whoever's life, but that she had a goal, and she felt in her mind. And when you believe in something, and you think that you're really taking the steps to fulfill whatever it is that your quest is, you're not, you come off a certain way, but you ultimately, you have a goal, and you fight for it, right, with everything you got. So I wanted that to come through, and I wanted Kendra to feel more genuine. And then I wanted her towards, I don't want to spoil, but the things that happen at the end, where people see the turns and all the things that are going on. I wanted people to really feel like, wow, what, she was doing the right thing in her mind. She really was fighting for what was right. Um, so I tried to put that into my work, and for it to feel also more human like, we're not robotic. And I think that's what I would do if I was in fact in that position.
Well,
So
that really came across. I have to say that I was about to tell you that in the original game, she's more of a mustache twirling sort of villain, and in this game, as you said, she's a bit more sympathetic. She it feels like she cares about Isaac. Would that
yeah,
be right in saying that?
I did. I think, I as I read the script, I felt torn because I liked Isaac. And I felt like, damn it, man, I want to tell him the truth about Nicole, and I want to tell him the truth about what's going on. And in a world, I thought we could team up together and do the right thing, but it's also for Isaac, he wasn't going to be able to see that reality. It was going to be impossible for him, and I think I knew that as well. So
Mm.
so I understood that no matter how hard I felt for him, no matter how much sympathy I had towards him, ultimately I was given an order and I had to fulfill it, no matter what my feelings are.
So when you're playing, so you believe that Kendra is the good guy in this scenario? Is that how you see it? Is that how you played it,
That's how I
essentially?
played it.
Yeah,
I that yeah, that I was doing the right thing.
yeah. Wow.
It
It's
yeah.
and do they ever mention the original game at all throughout this process? Do they ever mention it at all? Or is it just its own thing and this is a new interpretation and they never talk to you about the original? Or is that something that they do bring up on occasion?
No, I mean, they referenced it. We're remaking this. It's
Mm.
a it's the new project, but it's based on the on Dead Space, the original, the classic game. And I looked it up, and then I remember I was about to go down that rabbit hole, and I said, "All right, you know,
Well, you
not
cut
gonna."
yourself off, did you?
Yeah, I did. I said, "I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna let that Dead Space be that Dead Space, and this one be this one. This is my interpretation. I've been given this gift of being able to interpret this character, and I'm just gonna do it to the greatest of my ability and as truthful as possible. You know."
And talk to me, and we are going to get into a bit of spoilers here, guys. So if you haven't finished it, come back. But the final scene, I notice in the original, it doesn't actually pan out like that. Like in this remake, Isaac actually tries to save Kendra in this one. Did you guys talk about that scene at all? Do you remember shooting that particular scene?
I remember shooting that particular scene. I haven't seen that final moment, so I don't know what they showed. But the death was actually really painful on set. We all were kind of,
Oh, really?
yeah, because the way I played it was the that tentacle thing
Yeah.
grabs it, right? Grabs me, and it throws me on the floor, and I'm fighting, and as I'm, trying to survive and get out of the way, and I extend my arm out to Isaac, and they never had that before, and I'm like, Isaac, and in my heart, I was crying. I
Yeah.
felt bad for what I had done, and I felt a sense of guilt, and I was just like, I'm sorry, so I'm like extending my hand out to him, and I really am in that movement. I'm saying, I'm so sorry, man, just save me, please save me. And then bam, drags me away, and I'm done. um but I was really hoping that he would be able to help me, and then I think he would have, he just didn't get to me fast enough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the way
It,
we get it out on set. um
but it's just a testament to you because in the original, I didn't clap, but I was sort of excited when she died, right? In this
yeah.
game, I'm like, no, get her. You know what I mean? There was a bit of like,
Yeah.
because you'd built this connection over the 10 hours throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was we were all kind of like, it happened and we all felt it. It was so sad. That death was sad for all of us because it was just, we all were there, you know, kind of not crying, all of us. I was definitely crying out of the guilt I felt. And I think I would have had a turn there. I would have said, fuck my mission. Let's do this. Um,
Mm.
Internally, I think I would have had that. But then I think I would have turned around again because I would have said, honor. My job is, sorry again, Isaac,
You
which
can't make your
sucks.
mind up.
I know, I'm the back and
Yeah.
forth because, you're trained. Anytime you have a task to fulfill, when you represent a department,
Mm.
ultimately you have to, it's, a position of honor. So you have to,
Let
the
the
honors,
emotions, yeah.
yeah, out of the way. But I did feel immense guilt at that last moment. Also, whenever it's life and death, people forget everything and they just want to live. Don't you think that's the truth in any
Yeah.
situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you're 100% right. And I mean, you said that you were crying on set. How when they say cut or when the scene's over, how do you come down from a performance like that? What do you do to, how do you sort of come down from it?
Well, when they say cut, you're like, usually it's like, oh, God, thank God I'm alive. Whew, and then you kind of breathe out, and then you just kind of take a minute, and then they say, okay, that was great. Let's do it again.
No, that's what I mean. Don't they say, come on, let's go again for the
Yeah,
16th time?
right.
And you got to do it
Yeah,
all over again. I mean, that must be
gotta do it all
draining.
over. Yeah, I mean, sometimes well, if you're a good actor, unless you try to something different, maybe this one you kind of like hold back the tears and you're focused on like, just save me, damn it, save me, Isaac,
Mm,
and you their experience, right, for the character.
yeah.
But sometimes the director really likes it and he says, hey, the camera, there was a movement. Can we just keep what you just did? We loved it. Let's just go for another take. Um, and then you just try to tap into that again. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
that final scene, how are they dragging you on the set? Is someone behind you, or are you on a rig, or is it just all in post? How does that work?
So sometimes it depends how they set it up. They'll pull you. Sometimes they'll place you on something and pull you a little bit, but just a short distance to create the movement. But there's also a stunt double that they use, and she'll get pulled around and all that stuff, and she'll do the jumps. I really wanted to do all the physical stuff because I also do SWAT. I work on SWAT as an officer. So I like anything that's physically demanding.
Mm,
So I'd love to do all my stunts if possible, but sometimes, they just, they can't do it that way because they have people they hire and they
yeah.
have specific things they need to hit in order to make everything flow for the visual aspect of the video game and
Yeah.
even on actual TV shows and all that.
In SWAT, do you do your own stunts, or do you do more of your own stunts?
Yeah, I haven't had anyone have to do my stunts yet, so
Yeah.
far so
How are you loving working on that show?
it's been great. It's a completely different experience. They move very fast and it's very, it's testosterone fueled and it's the,
Yeah.
you got to be one of the boys. You got to be tough. And I definitely had to adapt because that wasn't a world I grew up in or lived in, ever. But I've always wanted to be in, whether it be an FBI agent, a cop, an undercover cop is something, a program that TV show that where I get to do that would be my ultimate, be an undercover cop, um, and have all
Oh,
these,
yeah.
yeah, undercover cases I get to explore. Um,
That'd be cool, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because I feel sometimes like I'm a little bit like a chameleon and I can adapt here, adapt there. I can feel comfortable in different environments. So I feel like it could really be in my benefit for my work. Um, but yeah, SWAT's been amazing. I've learned a lot about weaponry. I've learned a lot about, tactical stuff, how to run while holding a rifle, how to, shoot. I've been able to work with a team, which is different when you're running and how you use the gun, how you put it in, and how you put it in safe mode. Whoa, hello. Oh, sorry, I went
Yeah,
black.
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Um, so I've learned all those things, and it's really cool to have a team and people that depend on you and that you depend on them. I really like that.
Do you ever pinch yourself being a part of all these amazing projects and go, "Wow, I've come a long way"?
Yeah, man. Every morning I practice gratitude and I wake up. The first thing I'm like, wow, God, thank you for this. I get to breathe. I'm alive. I open my eyes. I can't believe this is my life. I say that
Mm.
every morning. And, it's been ever since I was a kid. I wanted to do this, and I always wanted to be in these kind of like tough roles.
Mm.
And I didn't even know where to start, because in Miami, it's not really something you're ever exposed to, or there's never opportunities like that in Miami, really. Even though Miami Vice was never really cast out there. There,
That was
it
more
was,
America, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah. So for me, it was just kind of a vision I had, and to make it something tangible it's been wild. It's
And
yeah.
I noticed on your Instagram, you have in your bio, you have like the characters that you play, but you also have flowing or flowing. What's the meaning behind that? I'm curious.
Oh, I always feel like there's a flow, an energetic flow that you enter, and you can enter into it and enter out of it. Like you can step out of it. So when you're flowing, I think things are working in your favor, and you're kind of energetically, you set your mind to something, and it's working out, and then this is leading you somewhere else, and then you're kind of, it's like a wave, an energetic thing, and you're going with those waves, and things are happening for you, and you're like, wow, I don't even know how it's happening. Like I had this thought, and look at it, it's a thing now. Oh my God, what's going on? This is awesome. So I like to be in that mindset of flowing.
Wow,
When things,
nice.
yeah, and then I'll even feel it. I'll be like, wow, I'm in flow right now, and I'll even feel when I'm out of flow. So I'll be consciously aware of it on a consistent basis.
So when you're out of it, are you grumpy? What's it? How do you get back into that state of mind?
When I'm out of it, I feel like I'm in doubt.
Mm.
I'm
Like a
in
bit of an
doubt.
imposter?
Yeah, I'm not like really believing that that this could be my reality, you know? And so I step out of that mindset, where that flow mindset, and all of a sudden I'm in lack, I'm in doubt, I'm in fear. I'm not trusting myself. I'm not confident. And so I'm like, okay, I got to do a little work on myself. I got to ground myself. I got to maybe meditate a little more. I gotta I gotta pray a little more. And prayer is an interesting thing. It could be so different for everyone. Sometimes just saying Om to some people is prayer. Sometimes for people it's just saying an actual prayer. Sometimes for people it's just saying thank yous. Whatever it is, when you're not in that state of gratitude and groundedness, you get out of the flow.
Wow, beautifully put. Are you and your husband and family spiritual, very spiritual, or what do you say?
um I think, you know so my husband was sick for a bit, and I've always been a very spiritual person. But when he got sick, it was real. And his mother's very, she's very spiritual as well. My father's very spiritual. My mom, you know what I would say? Yeah, we are, but in different ways. Everyone
Mm.
is in different ways. And we never say, oh, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. We just kind of let everyone be who they are.
Hmm.
But after my husband was sick, it really put us in a whole other mindset when it comes to life. It really made us realize a lot of things don't really matter. Uh, wow, we've taken all this for granted. Those little moments are the ones that really count. All the cliches that you hear, God, they're cliches for a reason.
Mm.
The truth.
100%. Yeah.
So
So
that really was in perspective. I'm
so
sorry, go ahead.
your mind switched at that point, do you think? Your life sort of
Yeah,
switched? Yeah.
yeah, completely. I
And
was
I
always a person, but it was just so,
yeah.
you know, anytime you face a life and death situation, I think you just, it changes you.
Mm, definitely. And you mentioned before that you always wanted to do sort of work on tough characters. What about that toughness resonated with you? Why did that resonate with you? These tough characters.
I guess the resilience you need to be in those types of worlds. Um, and also, I think many times the toughest people come off kind of rough, but deep down they have really big hearts. Sometimes you
Hmm.
meet a person that is open, and so even though I don't know, I always liked my teachers, the ones that came off as mean. I'd always be like, you know what? But I like her because she's at least she's honest, and at least she tells us the truth and says how she really feels, and there's no buttering up, and I don't have to. Is she really being genuine?
So
I felt
you
like
don't like the fakeness of it in
no,
the world. Yeah.
like it's a waste of time. I think
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I
you
agree.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend's like that. She just can't lie. She's just always honest, no matter what it is. Sometimes it's for good, sometimes for bad, but that's just who she is as well. And
Yeah,
I'm trying to be like that as well, as best as I can. Um, would you would you like to be a part of a Dead Space film? How does that sound? Like a live action Dead Space?
God,
I mean, how good does that sound?
I got goosebumps right now. That that'd
That'd
be
be
amazing. That'd be a real. I mean, that'd be like a dream come true. Um, I don't know if that's in the books for me. I hope so. I hope so. um, that'd be amazing, and I'd be so honored, and I'd treat it like my baby. Um, and
yeah.
we shall see. But yeah, I mean, what else? It's such great writing and storylines, and I feel like it'd even be more developed. So, and I can only imagine the sets. Can you imagine those sets?
Ah, I know. That's
Oh God,
crazy. Yeah.
the pain. So, we'll see. Possible.
Yeah, I heard. I think John Carpenter was interested in, or there was some director was attached to something
Yeah,
like that, or they'd written a script or something. I'll have to
there's
look it
some.
up after, but yeah.
It was something that Netflix is doing. What's his
Mm.
name? Lawrence. Something Lawrence. I know John Carpenter likes Dead Space,
Oh,
but there was
okay.
a spin-off idea that they had.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I actually was reading about it and I forgot the name. BioShock.
BioShock. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're doing a
BioShock.
series, are they?
It's gonna be a Netflix. I don't know if it's a series or a film, but
Mm.
he directed Hunter Games 2. Gosh, what's his name? I know his last name's Lawrence. Something Lawrence. I believe.
Lawrence.
Yeah, BioShock, something Lawrence.
Francis Lawrence.
There you go.
Yeah,
He's
Francis
doing it
Lawrence.
on
What do
Netflix.
I know him from? Hunger Games. Yeah, of
Games,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know, I thought I was like, maybe I should tell my team, hey, let's send this man, get a hold of this man. I don't know
Yeah.
how. Let's find out. What cafe is he gonna be at so I can just show up?
Just bump into him
Bump
randomly.
into
Yeah,
him.
I'm an actor. Yeah. Uh, yeah. No,
Have
I
you
think.
practiced, Mr. Lawrence? Uh,
I think you'd be fantastic in a Dead Space film or even a Bioshock. And what
thank you.
about more games? Are you looking to do more performance capture? Have you got the bug?
Yeah, I definitely got the bug. I'm hoping that, after this I get some cool momentum going. I think I will, it's a matter of just lining up with the right project. And I've been busy because of SWAT. I haven't had my schedule's been kind of complicated. But they go on hiatus soon, and then I'll have a significant amount of time to, get on my next project. And I'd love for it to be a video game because
Mm.
I really love that world. And then, end up on my own show. I really enjoy. I'm a big family person, as I already told you. So the difference between a film and a show is that with a show, you come back to your family usually, and you guys build memories and you really get to know the team and you know everybody's name by the end of it. You know about their families. For the most part, if you're a person that cares about another human, you're gonna ask, you know, what they're
Yeah.
like, what their life is like.
Yeah.
Um, and
You
then,
like the camaraderie about it. Yeah.
yeah, I'm a big team player, so I love that aspect of a TV show, a TV series.
And from some of the films that you've done, do you still is it still like do you still get to connect with some of the people behind that, or is it a bit harder because it's such a short you know, time of shooting and you
You
don't really
always,
get to know people as
yeah,
much?
you always connect. It's just a little harder because it's, there's a shorter amount of time to be with everyone, and then everyone goes on and moves on to another film or another project. And
Mm.
all right, yeah, stay in touch on Instagram. And then everybody, they find the next great ice cream and they forget you for a little bit until you pop up again. We're being real
Oh,
here.
you're being real. It's so true, though. It is so true. Oh man, it's an interesting business that you're in because it's one day you're on a high, the next you're jobless. It's
Yeah,
such a tough career. It really is.
it's crazy. That's why I talk about that flow, man. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's flow, and and it's a thing. It's a thing.
yeah. So, are there what sort of games would you like to be in? Like a Call of Duty, GTA, a Dead Space 2? I mean, is Kendra really dead? I mean, she could be alive, right?
God.
I don't know,
They
maybe not, but
that thing smashed the life out of me.
yeah, I know, right?
I mean, they should have just like put guts all over the screen. Is what I felt like when I saw it. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
the rough that they showed me. Um, you know,
yeah.
I love Call of Duty. I love anything that has, and I'd also like I'd like to try step into those like more challenging character roles where you have to like try a new accent and completely change your physical, like how you behave, physical behavior, all that. Try those more challenging. Every role is challenging, but those are especially, I think, challenging because you have to go into create this whole thing, that there's no, for me, Kendra was it was a little different from me, but I just tapped into another part of me in a way, this more like stern version of myself, kind of when I'm like, I don't like you, get away from me. When I don't like someone, I'm like, they ask me a question, I'm like, I don't know, what do you want to know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's that standoffishness.
yeah,
um
yeah.
or when someone hurts me,
Mm.
I'm not gonna pretend I'm okay with how you made me feel. So I'm gonna be like, what?
Yeah, stand up for yourself. That's it. Hey, would
Yeah.
you say you're a character actor?
I think I haven't tapped into that world yet, but I think I could be. I could become a character actor if given the opportunity. I think we kind of all have the the possibility for that if we explore it and put in the hard work.
Hmm.
Some have more of it and accessibility to it more readily, and some people just have to work a lot harder. And I'll find out how hard I got to work when I'm there. But I'll
I
bust my
love it.
butt. Yeah, till I get it.
So I'll give you a couple more. What's the reception been like in terms of, seeing all the 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, you know, amazing reviews across the board for Dead Space. The fans are loving your performance. How does that feel, to see that and hear that?
It feels it's real humbling, and I feel very honored to be a part of the team. It's obviously not just the performance, it's everything. So it's like I'm a big and small part of that. Does that make sense? Like,
Hmm.
it's big and it's small because the performance is one thing, but everyone was so wonderful, and it wouldn't have been possible without everyone coming together and making it. So, and the writing is phenomenal, and everyone was just so helpful in creating the world, and kind. It was such a kind group of people, and that's what made me the happiest. That such a great group of people could accomplish such a great result. It's a
Mm,
good, it's a wonderful thing when great things happen to great people.
yeah, well put. And I mean, you got to give yourself credit too, because if you're such a vital part of the game that if you put up a stinker of a performance, it will be it will be hard to not see that performance. You know what I mean? Because you're in the player's face a lot of the time, and if you don't perform, I mean, that will be a sore sight. So I've got to give you kudos for a
Thank
great job.
you. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm just so happy to be part of it, and
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm grateful that it played out. The truthfulness played out.
it really did. Thank you for taking the time today. Is there anything you wanted to say to the fans? Um, any
Uh,
message you wanted to send to them?
I'm just so happy that you all enjoyed it, and I'm grateful for the feedback and the interaction, and and I got a big heart, so I really do mean it when I tell you all that I love you guys, and I'm so grateful for the support, and thank you for letting me be part of your Dead Space world.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the
Thank,
time. Quickly,
thank you.
before I let you go, is there anything Kendra Daniels can say to me, Dan, as we wrap this up? Can she come alive in any way? I'm putting you on the spot, I know. Uh,
Gosh,
but
maybe I can.
I asked Anthony and also Farhan. So,
Yeah,
but you've got to one up them here. Come on.
I would say, Dan, quit wasting your time thinking I'm coming back.
Brilliant. That's good. That is good. You've topped them. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
wait to chat again when you are the lead at another game next year or the year after, or because I know it's
I'm
happening for you. The flow,
in
we're in
the
the flow.
flow.
That's it.
Yes, we're in the flow. All right. All right, Dan. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for, reaching out and thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Have a great day.
All right. Sending you a bbig hug and your girlfriend as well and tell
You
her
too.
kudos being
You
for
too. Have a
being
great